Every living thing on our planet breathes air. It gives animals and plants this ability to sustain life. However, due to human activities, the air that all living things breathe is slowly changing into something that can harm us because of pollution. Not only can this air harm us and living forms, it can also damage our everyday life and cause inconveniences. By definition, air pollution is a gas or a liquid or solid dispersed through ordinary air, released in a big enough quantity to harm the health of people or other animals, kill plants, or stop them from growing properly, damage or disrupt some other aspects of the environment, or cause some kind of nuisance. With a high concentration of these gases, air pollution becomes a problem we have to face because it will affect us and the earth. Numerous causes contribute towards the release of pollutants into the air. Anything people do that involves burning things, using household or industrial chemicals, or producing large amounts of dust has the potential to cause air pollution. Currently, the major contributor to air pollution is traffic. Passenger vehicles are a major pollution contributor, producing significant amount of nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, and other pollution. However, factories and power plants also increase the amount of pollutions. These factories emit enormous amounts of organic compound, hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, and other chemicals into the air. The different types of gases and air pollution are slowly killing people. There is a wide range of health effects due to exposure, respiratory diseases, and cardiovascular diseases. Changes in lung function and death are some of the health effects from exposure. The thing about air pollution is that it is difficult to detect. We do not always see or smell pollutants in the air, so people barely notice how pollution is affecting them. About millions of people die prematurely just due to air pollution. These deaths are mostly from developing countries, but there are some from first world countries too. There are an estimate that indicates about 20% of cancers, especially lung cancers, are caused by air pollution. Those of asthma, lung disease, and other lung-related problems are especially vulnerable. Not only do human life get affected by air pollution, animal and plant life are affected too. Pollutions harm food, water, and habitat of plants and animals. As acidic pollution merges with the droplets of water in the clouds, acid rain is the result. When the rain hits the ground, the soil soaks up the acid and the land becomes uninhabitable for living things. Wildlife species are now forced to change their habitat, as the rain also damages the water, harming aquatic life in the lakes and rivers. Furthermore, as ozone molecules appear on the Earth's surface, it affects lung tissue of animals and respiration of plants, stalling growth. stratosphere, there is a region called the ozone layer, which shields the Earth against the sun's ultraviolet rays. Due to the presence of large quantities of chlorofluorocarbons, in the 20th century, huge ozone holes began to appear over Antarctica. An atom of chlorine can eliminate about hundreds of thousands of molecules of ozone. According to the United States Environmental Protection Agency, about 90% of the CFS currently in the atmosphere were emitted by the industrial countries in the Northern Hemisphere, including the United States and Europe. However, lingering ozone holes are still dangerous. About 20% of the ozone layer in other regions are deteriorated. Air pollution also contributes to the rising of the temperature of Earth's oceans and surface. This is called global warming. Due to the accumulation of greenhouse gases wrapping around the Earth, it causes its temperature to slowly rise. This phenomenon is called the greenhouse effect. From global warming, several disasters such as the melting of large landforms of ice, rising of sea level, droughts, outbreak of diseases, and increase of natural disasters. With the increase of more extreme weather patterns due to the climate change, dangerous storms will be appearing throughout the globe. Coastal areas are in danger of being submerged underwater because of the rising sea levels. Though the whole world will be able to feel the consequence of climate change, poor countries and their people are anticipated to be hit the hardest in the rest of the world. Even though air pollution is alarming, humans also benefit from causing it. With the burning of fossil fuels, electricity is brought to the majority of homes in the world and used to power many technological devices. People may argue to switch to solar for power, and they have a point, but most cannot afford to install solar panels because of their expensive cost. Vehicles are used to move people from one location to another faster than any other form of transportation. It will not be easy to tell people to stop using their cars because of air pollution. With unemployment in different parts of the world, jobs are in high demand. For those who need money to put food on their tables, places such as factories, power plants, and mines provide those people with jobs. Despite how horrific the effects of air pollution are, there are countless amounts of solutions that can help stop air pollution. A simple task of saving energy, such as turning the lights off when not in use, can help reduce the pollutants and also save money. This reduced the amounts of fossil fuel needed to be burned for electricity. Getting your government involved in the case is also important. People are encouraged to carpool or take public transportation because it decreases the number of cars on the streets. Another solution is saving water because cool, clean water requires a vast amount of energy to be produced. Switching to renewable energy sources like solar, geothermal, and wind for electricity can help curb air pollution.
Okay, you currently live in Hawaii, and being in a tropical environment, we see more effects from pollution.
Do we?
We do.
How?
Like volcanic, like for example, we have fog, right? Over the years, you can actually look at the sky, and whenever trade winds don't blow, you can see all the pollution and all the exhaust from traffic in the sky. At least in downtown area, you can.
Are you sure about that?
You can, and over the years, you see it darker and darker. Google it. Google it.
Anyways,
Okay, so
I don't think volcanic ash has anything to do
the fog, yeah, it does.
with car emissions.
No, I mean, oh no, as collectively, like pollution collectively, it does.
I mean, we get trade winds that bring it to our island,
Yeah.
and it passes to all the other islands. I think that's the good old USA. We have sanctioning bodies like the EPA that regulate air pollution. Okay, that are created in mass amounts from industries, like the car industry, right? The automobile industry. That's a big one, right? Or when we use to burn fossil fuels and whatnot, right?
Okay.
Like power plants and all that kind of crap, right? So the thing is that like because we live in America and that there's rules set up, there's sanctioning bodies that have all these things that all these companies and all these industries have to abide by, right?
Yes.
So it's controlled.
Okay, now we're
Because the thing is that like, what are you gonna do? Stop burning fossil fuels for and then shut down power plants?
If we were all to switch to solar power and have our own, like, if we were to have
some sort of device in our homes where we have our solar paneling and then we have a generator or something that the energy that we capture, we can store ourselves and use it when we need to. Would we need HECO? Would we need the Hawaiian Electric Company?
No, of course not.
So would they make any money?
for like repairs?
So they make any money? No, they wouldn't, right? So how do they
Isn't
work
that
around
why
it?
installation is so high though?
Well, there's a lot of risk going to someone standing on top of your roof and nailing stuff in. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's not something easy to do. Okay. That set aside, there's a whole industry based on solar, right? But how HECO's workaround was that what they do is that, yes, you can go ahead and get these panels installed. They still have to make money, so how they do it is that they just cut a fraction of your bill off. Now some people only pay like $20 for their electricity bill, right? Because a portion of it is used with how many solar panelings that you have. So how they do it is that you are capturing energy, not for yourself. They want you to make you believe you're doing it for yourself, but you're actually capturing energy for them. So they measure how much solar energy that you've captured that they can use, right? And then in that turn, they deduct how much ever off of your bill. That's how it works, right? Because the thing is that it's not sunny.
electricity then.
It's not sunny every day, right?
Yeah.
It's not sunny. And look right now. It's gloomy. It's raining. Do you think the solar panels are collecting any energy? Not as much as a sunny day, right?
Yeah, one of my friends has like full electricity and I never like going to his house because he couldn't watch TV. And it's like cold showers.
So the only other exception to the rule would be like people that live off the grid, right? The main point is that like I think it's a good thing that people are more environmentally aware, right? Do I personally think it makes a difference? No. I think it's a facade that people like to believe so it helps them sleep better at night. You know? I mean, you drive a Prius, you think you're creating less carbon waste, right? But you create more pollution. Toyota creates more pollution manufacturing the batteries in those vehicles than the lifespan of that car and its carbon footprint. I mean, it's been documented, it's been studied. But does Toyota market like that? No, because it'd be suicide, they wouldn't be able to sell cars, right? So, that's the whole ironic thing, dude. You know? I think it helps people sleep better at night. If we did anything to change, I think, yeah, that's great. But what are a bunch of people with a bunch of signs?
Seems like a very clean place. We're kind of in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. We're an island. What are your thoughts on air pollution here, if any?
Air pollution in Honolulu,
Yes.
if you're talking about Honolulu, it's gotten worse. In my lifetime, I've seen it get a lot worse, especially on days when the trade winds don't blow and the city is just under a blanket of exhaust, a lot of automobile exhaust, I think it is, and whatever industrial air pollution we do have would be getting up there, and it just stays over the island. In my other conversation with you about fog, Hawaii has a very unusual situation in that we don't have human-created pollution, we also have geological pollution from the volcano, and that I think is having long-term effects that we won't know until maybe decades later after they determine that so many people in Hawaii had plugged up lungs for this whole period of time or something.
Alright, now you talked a bit about that blanket of exhaust.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that is very visible, especially from St. Louis looking outward?
On days when the prevailing winds do not blow, you can see it.
Everywhere.
Yes. At least in downtown Honolulu you can. Throughout the metropolitan area you can.
Alright. Now one thing is, we talked about a bit of Honolulu and a bit of Hawaii. What are your thoughts on air pollution in general as a world? looking at places like China, India.
Right. So we're learning a lot now about fossil fuels, and even though the White House has a very interesting stance on environment, especially the greenhouse effect and global warming, I feel that it is a major problem. A lot of it caused by fossil fuels, and again, the U.S. and China are two of the world's largest producers of air pollution. Traveling through Asia, you can see it when you get into flying to Beijing, Shanghai, Manila, Jakarta. It's just one big thick layer of gray. Once you descend after so many layers of the atmosphere, once you descend into the airspace of the aircraft of that local area, you see the smog, and it's really bad. It is very bad. But what can you do though in those countries where it's just overpopulation? They don't have the infrastructure that's clean technology, nor can a lot of people afford it. You have a lot of poor people using open fires, propane burners, whatever, and a lot of exhaust coming out of outdated automotive systems.
Now, currently, everyone's talking about air pollution, ocean pollution, all this global warming situation.
Okay.
Do you see, particularly for air pollution, but in general, do you see any of it getting better?
I don't see it getting better because right now it's left up at the governmental levels. And like I said, the U.S. being one of the world's major violators of keeping clean air and not signing into that Kyoto conference that was some years ago regarding the environment, I don't see it getting better. And I don't think this present administration we have in the White House is going to make it any better for us. And it's sad because it's going to be in your guys' hands as the adults of the future to really take care of this and to live with it. So yeah, it's not. I don't think it's going to get better. I really don't.
Well, do you have any solutions on yourself or any final thoughts you'd like to say?
It's really just trying to little by little doing what we can, more for like recycling and keeping stuff out of the physical environment, such as plastics, non-biodegradable materials. That's one way we can actually start. When it comes to pollution, a lot of it's out of our control. You can talk to your legislators and try to lobby and see what they can do for you, but that's about where it goes, I believe.